Hello, friends. Welcome back to the first podcast episode of 2026. I'm Kelly, your macros coach, your accountability partner, and your reminder that you're always doing better than you think you are. If you're new here, make sure to follow the show, leave a quick review, and share this episode on your stories, on your social media, and tag me so that I can thank you. Or just share it with a friend who also wants to kick off this year feeling strong, confident, and in control. If you're watching me on YouTube, excuse the sunglasses. I have been battling migraines for 3 or 4 days now, and I might look a little silly if you are on YouTube. So, before we dive in, I just wanted to say I hope you all had a wonderful Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We had such a full, beautiful holiday season, time with family and friends. We went to Christmas at the Warner. That's a beautiful production in a venue here in downtown Erie. Watching my son get back on the basketball court after a grade 2 tear and an enlarged hematoma to his glute, a little volleyball sprinkled in there, and visiting reindeer, cooking, baking, all the fun cookies, all the things, right? So, and on New Year's Eve, we hosted our usual party that somehow always ends up with singing and games and TikTok challenges and a full-on dance party. So it was chaotic, it was perfect, and now I'm so ready to step back into structure with all of you. Today's episode is called How to Lose the Holiday Fluff because let's be honest, most of us are feeling just a little bit fluffier than normal. The Christmas cookies, the charcuterie boards, the yummy dips, the alcohol, the parties, the leftovers, it all adds up. Maybe your pants are feeling tight. Maybe you don't feel as strong or as energized as you did in November. Maybe you're just ready for a fresh start. Or maybe you're sitting there thinking, I want to change, but I have no idea where to start. Maybe you've been researching online, pinning workouts on Pinterest, saving recipes on TikTok, screenshotting motivational quotes, listening to all the fitness influencers contradict each other, and now you're just confused, right? So if that's you, take a breath. You're not alone. You're in the right spot. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to lose the holiday fluff, how to rebuild momentum, and how to actually make 2026 look different. We'll talk about habit stacking, fat loss basics, what really moves the needle the fastest, and how to create simple changes that compound into real results. Today, we were kicking off the $10 back on track week, so I hope you're inside of there. We are setting new macros, we are creating personalized blueprints for 2026, and this is the time of the year where clarity matters most, and we're doing it together. Next up is the winter shred. It starts January 16th for 8 weeks. And here's what's included. Customized macros made by me with an option for weekend macros, 14 to 45-minute workouts suitable for all skill levels with fitness coach, my sister, Kate Danowski. Consistency calendars, easy to track items, weekly live recorded sessions, weekly weigh-ins, check-ins with me, simple grocery lists, meal plans, private accountability partners, one-on-one coaching, of course, fun events, $100 off if you are a Clubhouse member. And of course, the cash prize for the biggest transformation, which is based on overall change, not pounds lost. So that link will be in the show notes to sign up for that. I would love to see you inside of the shred. So let's talk about losing that fluff. So the truth about holiday fluff, first, your weight right now is not fat gain. It's water, it's sodium, it's inflammation, it's lack of routine, it's higher carbs. It's alcohol, it's late nights, it's fun, right? It's all the fun that you had. You didn't gain 8 pounds of fat in December. You lived your life and your body reflects that temporarily. Okay, now it's time to settle back into consistency. Most people want everything to happen fast in January. They want the weight gone now. They want the energy back now. They want the tone and definition now. But results don't happen from intensity. They happen from simple habits stacked consistently. And the first habit, the one that moves the needle the most, is this: entering a calorie deficit. This is the foundation of fat loss. If you want to lose the holiday fluff, a calorie deficit is the quickest, simplest, and most effective place to start. You do not need detox teas or cleanses or fat burning workouts or miserable depriving diets. A calorie deficit means you're eating fewer calories than your body burns. That's it. Nothing fancy. I won't go off on a tangent, but please do not rely on your watch, your Apple Watch, or your treadmill for the calorie burn amount. It's not accurate. And that's for another episode, though. So here's why it works. It creates fat loss, it reduces inflammation, it regulates those hormones, it pulls off the water weight, it gives you the early wins that build motivation, and it's the only way that true weight loss, true fat loss happens. So most of the holiday fluff fall off within the first 5 to 10 days of being consistent with structure, but only if you create the environment for it. So if you're unsure how to set your numbers, this is where coaching, custom macros, and this is where the shred comes in. We take the guesswork out of it. We give you the exact targets based on your lifestyle, your metabolism, your schedule, your goals. We also provide you with weekend macros so that you're not starting over every single Monday. So once your deficit is set, habit stacking is how you make the process sustainable. So, what is habit stacking? Before we go any further, I want to clear that up. Habit stacking is not doing 5 new habits at once. It's not drink more water, track, meal prep, walk, lift. That's overwhelming. And that's why people quit. Habit stacking is the real sustainable sense, means mastering one habit at a time until it becomes automatic and then adding the next. That's it. When you try to change your whole life in January, by February, you're exhausted, you're burnt out. But when you conquer one habit fully at a time, your confidence skyrockets, and that confidence fuels the next habit. So here's how true habit stacking works. Pick one habit you can do daily. Do it until it feels natural. Let it become your baseline, then layer on the next easy habit. So maybe in week 1, you track your food every day, no matter what. Then once you get that under your belt, you keep protein a priority at each meal. Then after that, you add in a 15-minute train with Kate workout. After that, maybe you hit your water goal and suddenly you look up, you realize you didn't overhaul your life all at once. You built a sustainable lifestyle. Habit stacking isn't about intensity, it's about momentum and discipline. It's about proving to yourself, I can do this, and letting that identity shift, spill into every other habit. This is exactly how you lose the holiday fluff and keep it off by conquering one foundational anchor, one habit at a time, instead of trying to be a brand new person overnight. All right, so how do you set yourself in a calorie deficit? And the real way that I do it. So now that we've talked about why a calorie deficit is the fastest way to lose the holiday fluff, let's talk about how I actually set one for my clients because this is the part that confuses everyone. I keep it simple, realistic, and personalized. So here's my method. Choose 10, 11, or 12 times your goal body weight. That number becomes your calorie target. But, and this is very important, your goal weight has to make sense for your current body and your current journey. So let's break it down. If you have a lot of weight to lose, if you weigh 250 pounds and your dream weight is 120, you do not jump straight to eating like a 120-pound person. Okay, that's too big of a jump mentally, physically. It's not sustainable. You'll be starving, you'll quit, and your metabolism will not love it. All right. Instead, you can take it in phases, right? So let's just say your current weight is 250, your long-term goal weight's 120. Maybe your first realistic goal is 220 or 210. So your first deficit is based on that first milestone, not the final number. So 220 goal weight times 10, 11, or 12 would be between 2,200 calories and 2,640 calories, right? So if your goal weight is 210, times 10, 11, or 12. That would be a range of 2,100 to 2,520 calories. So you stay there, you get consistent, you lose the weight, you adjust, and you keep going. So this is how you lose in a way that you can keep it off and not crash and burn. If you're close to your goal, let's say if you weigh 130, you want to weigh 120, that's a totally different strategy, right? You can use 10, 11, or 12 times your goal weight. So, right, that would be a range anywhere from 1,200 calories to 1,440 calories. And that's where you land. It depends on your lifestyle, your hunger, your workout routine, your history with dieting, and what feels maintainable for you. And remember, this is a cut, and you're not supposed to live in a cut forever, okay? So, most women land best somewhere between 11 and 12 because they have energy for their workouts, they sleep better, and they feel more satisfied. So, this is why coaching matters. Macros are not one size fits all. So let's give some quick real life examples. Samantha weighs 180 and wants to weigh 150. So she starts with the goal weight of 150. So 150 times 11 equals 1,650 calories. Okay. That's a great starting deficit. Maria weighs 137. She wants to tighten up to 125. So let's just say 125 times 12 equals 1,500 calories. Okay. Let's just say Tiffany weighs 260 and wants to get to 180 first. So 180 times 10 equals 1,800 calories. So that's great, steady, sustainable deficit. So this allows her to lose weight without undereating and without shocking her metabolism. So, the last piece, the food scale and why it matters so much. The last thing we're going to talk about today, and honestly, one of the most important tools you can use if you truly want to lose the holiday fluff is the food scale. Inside the $10 Back on Track class right now, this is exactly what we're covering because it's a total game changer. People think they're in a calorie deficit until they actually weigh their food and realize they've been eating double what they thought. So there are a few things that have ruined people, including me, over the years, and I'm just going to call them out. Weight Watchers being one of them. Weight Watchers in the 0 point foods. Telling people that they can eat unlimited fruit, unlimited vegetables, and unlimited 0 point items completely disconnected them from understanding what a calorie actually is and also not paying attention to their fullness cues. So fruit has calories, nuts have calories, bananas have calories. So, and if you eat enough of anything, if you eat too many avocado, even healthy things, I'm using my air quotes, you can easily go over your deficit. And we do have to talk about keto for a minute because so many people try to use it to lose the holiday fluff and it just doesn't work long term. Okay, keto is eating extremely high calorie meats, oils, fat bombs, and extremely low carb, which is why the weight falls off fast in the beginning. But that's not fat loss, that is water weight loss. Carbs hold on to water in the muscles. So when you remove them, the scale drops quickly, but it's not real, it's not sustainable. And the truth is, most people can't live without carbs forever. It's not sustainable, it's not fun. I can't eat my Reese's and I can't have my popcorn. That's not enjoyable, that's not living life, okay? And then the second they add carbs back in, the water returns, the scale jumps, they feel like they failed. So you don't need extreme diets to lose fluff. You need a calorie deficit, balanced macros, and consistency. And then there's the measuring cups and the tablespoons. I love them, but they're just not accurate, right? A packed tablespoon is not the same as a level tablespoon. A scoop of rice in a cup is never the same between two people. So this could be 100 calories off with one serving and not even knowing it. So, and then the logging apps, right? There's so many different apps. Which one should I use? I love My Macros Plus. It's super accurate. And My Fitness Pal and Lose It, random barcode entries. There can be so many inaccurate entries. So anybody can upload anything into these apps. So some entries can be off by hundreds of calories. But using grams and weighing in grams, grams don't lie. So weighing your food in grams, a small, precise unit is the most accurate way to track your intake. It's not restrictive, it's not obsessive, it's awareness. Do I track anymore? No, but you need to educate yourself so that you know what a single serving looks like. You cannot hit a calorie deficit if you're guessing. You cannot expect consistency if you don't know your portions. You cannot lose the fluff if you're eyeballing everything and hoping for the best. And yes, some people say weighing food is crazy, but you know what's crazy? Feeling frustrated with no results when the fix is something this simple. So, you know what's crazy? Feeling frustrated with no results when the fix is something simple. You need to know what a serving looks like. You need to know what macros are in the foods that you eat because fat loss is not about keto or cutting carbs or eating clean or avoiding sugar. Fat loss is about being in a calorie deficit, period. It doesn't matter if your food is all carbs, all fats, all protein, or a mix of all three. What matters is your overall intake. So, tools, you don't need anything fancy, right? Just a $10 to $15 scale from Walmart. Another one I grabbed at Marshall's years ago and it still works. So, they all work perfectly. You don't need anything fancy. So, let's talk about accuracy with a few things. Weigh things dry when the label says dry. If the box of pasta says 56 grams dry, weigh it dry. Okay. Weigh meat cooked when the label says cooked and raw when the label says raw. All right. Most meat labels listed nutrition for raw weight. So weigh raw unless the package specifically says cooked. Weigh things as they're listed on the label, right? If the peanut butter says 32 grams, you put the jar on the scale, press tare, scoop out your serving, and read the difference. Not using tablespoons because they will be wildly inaccurate. So weighing everything to keep it tight and right. I'm just going to put it out there. Even people who have counted macros for years, they start to guess and then wonder why they're not losing the fluff. When you stay tight and right, you go back to the scale. When I do a cut once a year, I still weigh my food. Okay. The food scale, it's not a punishment, it's clarity, right? It makes the process fair. It makes your goals predictable. It gives you control. And this is how you lose the holiday fluff with knowledge, accuracy, intention, and simple tools that actually work. All right, friends, that wraps up our very first episode of 2026, How to Lose the Holiday Fluff. I hope you feel clearer, more grounded, more confident about where to start. Remember, nothing we talked about today is extreme. Nothing is complicated. You don't have to flip your whole life upside down to get results. You just need a calorie deficit, one habit at a time, a food scale, and simple, repeatable routines. Consistency beats intensity every single time. And I want you to hear this. You're not behind. You're not starting over. You are not ruined from the holidays. You are simply stepping back into structure. Your body, your mind loves structure. If you want support, coaching, custom macros, weekend macros, accountability, recipes, workouts, everything all in one spot for 8 weeks, come join us inside the Shred Plus Train with Kate. I will put the link in the show notes. Remember, if you're in the clubhouse this week, there was a yummy new turkey taco soup. Be sure to check that out. On Instagram, we did celebrate Kelly Amenta and many of our clients. So if you aren't on my Instagram, head over there, check it out, follow me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for starting 2026 with me. Thank you for showing up for yourself. You're always doing better than you think you are, truly. Share this episode with a friend who's feeling the holiday fluff too. Let's help more men and women start the year with clarity, confidence, and momentum. See you next week.